Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Riching Right in Phandalin. All right, so Phandalin is a tiny little town, a little village run by Harbin Wester, right between Neverwinter and Waterdeep. And I love Phandalin because I don't think nothing you say is more D&D than Phandalin. This thing has been covered in so many great. It's been covered across editions. It's been covered in high detail. It's been in multiple starter sets. It's really exciting, and it really, it's a town of woodcutters. It's a town of miners. Everything that happens that's crucial to D&D happens in Phandalin, or has happened at one point in Phandalin, and it's an instigating event town. It's important, and it's been in thousands of different Dungeon Masters campaigns. And so, what I want to talk about is Riching Right in Phandalin. This idea that when your player characters roll into a town, it impacts that town because your player character is wealthy. We didn't really think about this for a long time in D&D. For 50 years, we really didn't discuss class culture. We did not discuss the impacts of wealth. But this has changed in America. One of the best ways you could see this recently is Jeff Bezos got married, right? And he had a celebration of love, and people were booing him and saying, we're going to boo this very personal event for you because you're not riching right. You're not using your wealth the way Americans expect you to use your wealth. And this is new, and it's very powerful, and it's extremely real. Very, very distinct difference, something new and different, right? That's happening. And I think we need to start to understand that these same expectations are going to impact every Dungeons & Dragons player character. Every single Dungeons & Dragons player character is wealthy. We've never really acknowledged this, right? They are massively wealthy. They know how to read. They can feed themselves. They can shelter themselves. They have all the clothes they need. They have everything they need, right? Even at level 1, right? And at level 17 and 20, that's what we're going to talk about today. That level of wealth is massively high. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about level 4. Tier 4. Tier 4 player character tier 4. Okay, these are player characters who have reached level 17 to level 20. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Yeah. So there's just 4 levels there. It's the peak. Okay, and this was defined within the player's handbook in 2024 core rule books. Very fascinating. Let's talk about this, right? So you have this situation, and so at this level, at level 17 to 20, the absolute pinnacle tier of player character activities, these player characters have become so powerful that what fate lies in the hands of these player characters because of their power. It is the player handbook literally lists it as world or universe. They can save the entire world, or they can save the entire universe. This is hard to even talk about in Dungeons & Dragons, because in Dungeons & Dragons we rarely even talk about regions, right? Like, and actually, I believe in Forgotten Realms, like Faerun is like an entire continent on Toril, and that's the world. But most of the time, most players don't even know what the name of the world they're on is, right? They'll usually just the kingdom they're in is it, right? A Keelland is one kingdom in Greyhawk, right? And is Greyhawk even the name of that world, right? Like it's challenging. So at this level, these guys are at the top, right? The fate of the entire world, or the fate of all worlds, like the entire universe, are on their back. Okay, so at this level, when you have this amount of power, okay, what is the U.S. American equivalent of wealth to this? Well, this would be anyone who has in the bank 1 billion to 500 billion in the bank. And we should say this is the top level of American wealth, right? And actually, I think it's the top level of wealth anywhere in the world. And it is interesting to think there is a cap on this, 500 billion. I don't think anyone in the world has more than 500 billion. There's not one human being who has more than $500 billion. And currently, there are no trillionaires, right? There are billionaires. There are people who have hundreds of billions of dollars. And at this level of wealth, first of all, you are known. There are no, I don't think there's any, but at minimum, at this level of wealth, you can't keep it secret that you have this level of wealth. You could keep a low profile, but you're still going to be known, right? Also, you know, just as we just saw, at this level of wealth, you are also a celebrity, and you are also almost always involved in the government or directly communicating with the government. It's just, you know, it's a sense like it's like Superman. There's just like this level of wealth is so massive. So tier 4, the fate of the world or the universe is on their back, is on your player character's back. And at this level, you are equivalent to an American who has 1 billion in the bank to 500 billion in the bank. We should say that's air quote in the bank. At this level of wealth, you can't even get one bank to hold all your wealth, right? Your wealth would be split across multiple buckets. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion, nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.